Observing and measuring motion. Observing and measuring motion. That's what our lesson is today. I'm Rick Crosslin, and I'm here to give you a little bit of an introduction on the lesson you're going to be doing on motion in 4th grade. And I'm pretty excited about this program. You're going to be, in the next couple days, doing both a science lesson and some language arts and writing lessons using different structures to better understand what we're talking about in science. It's going to be kind of cool. I'm going to be coming and doing a different activity or different lesson every week, and you can join me online or you can do it when I come to your school. So let's get started. You know, this lesson has to do with what is motion. You know, when things aren't moving, it's hard to tell where their path is or where they've been. But when you see things move, scientists in the science of physics like to study how far, how fast, and some things like when a force is used and gravity. So that's what these next couple lessons are all about. It's about learning how to use science to understand how things move. And basically you have two different investigations you're going to do. Let me show you, check this out. In your book, in the next couple days, you will be doing a lesson on how can you measure motion. And you're going to be working in groups, and in the groups you'll have some wind-up toys like you've seen just a moment ago, a stopwatch, and you will be working in groups and measuring, winding up a toy, and think about the way to measure the motion. How can you measure that motion? You'll have a meter, ruler, a stopwatch, some masking tape. And so you're going to do some tests, and I want you to repeat it a couple times. And you're going to try to find out what are some of the ways that you can measure motion. You're also going to do an experiment or investigation that has to do with a marble and a ruler. And what you're going to do is see if you can follow a procedure. You're going to use a ruler with a groove in it. You're going to put it on the floor, and then you're going to prop up one end to form a ramp, and then you're going to let the marble go. And you're going to practice this, and then you're going to see if you can do, for example, measure its motion. Can you change its motion? So these are some of the things that you're going to be doing in the next couple days. And if we take a look at your worksheet, we're going to talk about, demonstrate the motion in a wind-up toy. And then you're going to actually use a ruler like this and a marble. And if you notice, it doesn't do much if I just lay it right here. But if I can prop up one end of it, let's say with my stopwatch right here, and teachers, all these things are in your science kit. Rulers, stopwatches, wind-up toys, enough for a group of 6. Now I've made that so it's like a little bit of a ramp, and I should be able to measure what happens when I let go of this. And maybe I can do an investigation about how high the ramp is, how far the marble goes. There's a lot of different things that we're going to try with this. And this is on page 71 and 74. And all of the information is right here. Your teacher has the different things we're going to do, placing the marble and discussing your findings. I'll tell you, there are a couple things I'd like to introduce to you. You know, when a scientist talks about, well, these words right here that you're going to see, motion and energy, potential energy, kinetic energy, work, force, friction, these are all words that scientists use to help them understand how things move. So, what is energy? I had a donut this morning, and that chemical energy is allowing me to do some work. Work is what a scientist, when a scientist says work is when you use a force to move an object. And a force can be a push or a pull, a push and a pull. So one of the big forces is that in the world is gravity. I lift this marble up, gravity is pulling it, I let go, and it's a pull force. I can lift it up because I ate that donut. I have muscles that allowed me to convert that energy from that donut into being able to lift this up. I let it go, and gravity is a force. So I would say I used energy to do some work. And when I say work, work is when I use a force to move an object. So even if I do something like this, I wind up this, let me switch cameras here, I wind up this little toy. Luckily, I had some breakfast today, and I had this that donut, and so now I'm going to transfer some of that donut energy. I'm going to use my muscles and my finger to wind this up, give it some potential energy. I'm going to let go of it, and I'm going to do some work. I'm going to use a force to move an object. I used my donut, my muscles, the spring. I've transferred that energy into potential energy, and I'm going to now let it transfer to kinetic energy, which is the energy of movement. Here we go. And that's the energy of movement, so I'm doing some work. I used a force to move an object. Hey, stop, stop, stop. Oh, well, sometimes there's too much energy going, and we can't stop the objects. So you're going to do this investigation, and then 3 other days you're going to do another investigation using pencil and paper, books, and videos to learn more about how you can observe and measure motion. And probably for me, the most exciting part of this lesson, your teacher and all the other 45 fourth grade classrooms in the district will go to the Google document, and they will share what you have learned here on a slide, a Google slide that says, what is motion? This is the first slide, and you can add 1 or 2 slides from your class of what you've learned. So your teacher will maybe add your findings, conclusions, images, or questions about the lesson. Make sure you put your name on it, your school, the teacher's name on these findings. I'll come back and videotape that and put it up so you can take a look at it and learn more about how you observe and measure motion. Hey, I can't wait to see how you do. My name is Rick Crosslin, and I love science. I hope you do too.